Hi Libras. This reading is for mid-July 2019. It might be applicable to the entirety of July 2019, and it will definitely be speaking to the energy of the partial lunar eclipse in Capricorn that we have tomorrow evening my time. So Libras, I hope you have all been enjoying your summer so far. I truly missed getting a reading out for you in June. I just did not have the time for everything I needed to do last month. And so for mid-July, we are going to do 2 readings. We are going to do a general reading now for you, and then we'll do a love reading afterward. So just my attempt to try to make up for missing getting your reading out last month. So far, Libras, we're looking at the Two of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. It looks like you as well have a lot on your plate at this time, this summer, this July, and especially ending July, these last couple of weeks. You've also got, as I said, the Queen of Cups. The Death card is showing up for you now. The Page of Wands is reversed in the root of the situation. So I think, that I said exactly what I meant. It's not brand new at mid-July and at the end of July that you feel overwhelmed, maybe even, but certainly just as if you have a lot that you're trying to juggle, right? A lot on your plate, many commitments, many plans, many different areas requiring your attention. Because in the root of the situation with the Page of Wands reversed, that can often be speaking about the same type of energy for us. Libras, just feeling overextended, having overcommitted yourself, not having enough energy for all of your projects, or even the projects that are the most important to you, because you have so many different areas, so many different people asking for that energy. You're spread so thin. And then you have the Lover's card showing up, Gemini energy in your recent past. So some of you may be dealing with a Gemini, specifically Libras, interacting closely with a Gemini that you're wondering about. The High Priestess shows up reversed for you, and the Knight of Cups. Judgment is on the bottom of the deck. Let me sit with this for just a minute, Libras, and then we may pull clarifiers for you as well. Libras, listening to your emotions does not always mean that you're listening to your intuition. And I'm feeling a lot of physical confirmation about everything that's coming through in this reading. I think some of you are specifically involved with a Gemini in some sense. Others are thinking very heavily about a Scorpio or Scorpio energy. But above all else, you're all dealing with Cancerian energy now, as we are still in Cancer season until the 22nd. To the 22nd, the sun moves into Leo, right? So I see you currently finding time to examine the emotions that Cancer season does bring to the surface. Carefully inspecting one or more situations, as you do have a lot on your plate currently, in order to feel your way through them. Maybe some of you have Cancer or Pisces or Scorpio energy in your own chart. Well, we all have all of the energies in our chart, but maybe some of you have prominent placements there that are very relevant for you at this time. Or you're dealing with those energies outside of yourself. While others still, for some, others still could be in an emotional place, needing to inspect your emotions, trying to distract yourself with all of these activities because you never received a message back from a fire sign, or not the message that you were hoping for. So all of the energies really are on the table. I don't see a lot of air energy besides the Gemini card here, but this is your reading, Libras. So I think that in inspecting those emotions during this time, and really getting in touch with the Cancer that is somewhere in your chart, regardless of whether you have a planet placement there or not, it feels very natural to lean into your emotions, to listen to your emotions, and they should inform you, right? But I made the point that listening to your emotions is not the same thing as listening to your intuition. Making an emotional decision is not the same thing as making an intuitive decision, right? I make that point because the energy you're stepping into, and honestly, you can already see yourself headed here, is this High Priestess in reverse. So some of you are being so emotional that you're going to leak secrets. You're going to let secrets out to people. That's not always a bad thing, right? We're not judging it good or bad. We're just reading what's on the table. But others of you, this is a clear indication that you are not listening to your intuition in the near future, probably regarding what activity you need to release. As I said, starting this reading out, you're not able to give every project, you haven't been for some time now, the energy it deserves. Maybe not even the projects that are most important to you, because you are spread so thin, because you have so much on your plate that you're trying to juggle. And you've just recently, a lot of you, made a very lengthy commitment. What I mean is a commitment that entails a lengthy entanglement with someone else. A group of people, one other person who's a partner type of energy in some respect, or maybe with a company, etc. And maybe, since we see this juggling energy and the Page of Wands in reverse, perhaps a lot of you have made serious and sincere at the time commitments to more than one thing. And so when your ego is quiet, Libras, when you can let go of the idea that you can somehow do it all and do it all well, you know that something has to be released here. You've got to let go of something. You don't have time for all of the things. You can't do all of the things that are on your plate to the best of your ability, or well enough to justify doing them in your mind. And so we see that Death card energy, that energy of transformation and allowing something to be released, letting something go. And I think what you're struggling with, Libras, is just either finding forgiveness for yourself for having overcommitted, committed yourself to too many things, letting somebody down because you're just unable to see all of those commitments through, or being apprehensive about dropping one of your commitments because you're afraid that you won't get the forgiveness that you're looking for from the other party, from whomever it is that you're going to have to let down. It may be someone specifically related to your home and or family life, Libras, that we're talking about, whose forgiveness you're looking for, or again, for a lot of you, you're looking for forgiveness from yourself regarding having overcommitted yourself. Now, I said this was the general reading, and the next reading will be the love reading. That is what I intend. But some of you, this is already speaking to a love situation, Libras. These cards speak the way that they want to, and we listen. And some of you, we're talking about, I said Gemini, I said Scorpio, I said fire signs, right? For some of you, we're talking about having emotionally invested in a fire sign who never gave you the message you wanted to hear from them, or maybe you didn't hear from them at all, and then getting involved and committed to Geminian energy, right? But being still emotionally attached to the fire sign, and so finding yourself presently actually juggling the two, at least emotionally within you, if not externally as well, if not physically as well. So for some it is relationship related, but for others we're talking about those energies, those same energies in that same type of situation, but related to your business, your work, again, your home or family life, your friendships, roommate-like situations, etc., etc. But something has to be let go of. Something has to be released. Now we're headed toward, I feel like a happier energy than feeling overextended, that holding on to the heavy burden of knowing something or someone has to be let go of, and maybe for some of you not even knowing which is the thing that gets dropped, right? And suppressing your own intuition. There's a reason why you don't want to know the answer. There's a reason why you don't want to hear your own answer to the question, what do I want to let go of here? What gets released here so that I have enough time for me and for dedicating enough energy to what is really important to me. There's a reason, Libras, that you're avoiding the answer to that question. Perhaps for some it is because if it is the love situation that we started to describe, and again, the next reading is supposed to be more concentrated on love, but let's say partnership instead, right? For some, you are suppressing that intuitive knowing because it is related to a fire sign that you would like in your situation, that you would like to work with or to partner with in some way, that again, it looks like you never got a message back from them that you were hoping for, right? So some of you are suppressing the intuitive knowing that is the energy that needs to be let go of, that is what you don't have a lot of time for presently, or you can't allot time for presently. But I do feel, again, that we're moving toward a happier place because that is the near future. So heading toward the end of July 2019, we have this resistance to hear our own intuition. You have this resistance to hear your own intuition, Libras. But then, ultimately, the outcome of this situation, so for a lot of you, even as you move into August, we have the Knight of Cups and upright. Now, this is someone who can make the same type of offer that it looks like that you must have made to someone in the past, Libras, where they mean well and they are showing genuine emotion in making this offer of love, expressing from their heart space, but then they can't always live up to that promise. But it also is just a representation of expressing fully and creatively from the heart. So what we see happening here, Libras, the forward movement that I see happening is that you are listening to your emotions. And again, they should inform you. They are informing you. They are speaking to you. But they cannot always ultimately make the best decision for you. They cannot always lead you directly to the decision that is for your highest good. Your higher self will do that. And while your emotions are very informative, they are so emotional. And so they can, your emotions are so emotional, very eloquent. They are so emotional that they can make you feel overwhelmed by your own emotions to the point where you try to hold on to the thing that it is hardest for you to let go of, that it is saddest for you to let go of, right? When in fact your intuition would say, no, that is the test. That is the thing that needs let go of. That is the thing that you have to show yourself, the person you have to show yourself, you are more important than to you. So I feel a lot of Libras in a space where you are in tune with your emotions, yes, and they are informing you, and they are so powerful, and they should mean so much to you. And maybe some of you are empathic, and so you're saying, my emotions are the most important thing to me. Some of you maybe haven't fully realized your empathic capabilities. All you know is how important your emotions are to you, right? And so that can lead you directly down a path to saying, I'm not letting go of what it feels too emotionally uncomfortable to let go of. While your intuition is screaming, but that's the thing that we're supposed to let go of now. The thing, the person, the habit, the way of life, the energies, the places, the experiences that aren't for you any longer. And we are all transforming currently, I feel, under this eclipse energy, having had 2 eclipses, the solar and now the lunar eclipse this month in July. Libras, I get the feeling that we're all transforming and will be over the coming months, the next 6 months, the next year, as a result of this energy. So it's very fitting that you have transformation showing up as what your higher self is very much aware of, that it's happening. When your ego is quiet, at this stage in the game, the feeling I'm getting from this reading is that your ego and your emotions are probably working together to help you hold on to something that needs released, whereas your higher self, your intuition, is telling you that that emotionally uncomfortable feeling is actually your sign that that is what should be released. And so this Knight of Cups and the eventual outcome of this situation, this is when your emotions are going to bubble over. You may be very in tune with them at this time, yes, but because you may not listen, and you have an opportunity to edit this path, right? That's what we're doing here. But if in the near future you don't listen to your intuitive knowing, and instead you hang on to what is emotionally comfortable and satisfying for you, eventually your emotions are going to boil over. This Knight of Cups, he's trying to keep all of his emotions in that cup, but he's on a horse, riding forward, right? And so this may mean that when your actual truth comes spilling out, that's exactly how it will come out to whomever it comes out to. Maybe it will come out around the wrong people. Maybe you will use the wrong words. Maybe you will repeat this cycle by overcommitting yourself to things with promises that you can't keep again eventually. But your truth will come out, and if you don't listen to your intuition in the near future, Libras, then eventually it will come spilling out. And it's not that the emotion, again, isn't real. That's why it will come bursting forth. It's very real. It's very real, but not listening to your intuition about what needs released is going to lead you to a place where you feel overwhelmed by those emotions if you don't already, and they just come flooding out, come bursting forth. And for some of you that will, again, be messy because you'll be spilling your secrets to the wrong people. Some of you will be spilling your secrets to the wrong people, and that's exactly why it will be messy. Others of you, it's going to be a matter of continuing this pattern, continuing this cycle, and making commitments and promises that you just you're not up for keeping eventually. So I hope that that helps you. Again, I get the sense, because the Judgment card is on the bottom of the deck, Libras, that this is actually about finding absolution, finding forgiveness. Is it forgiveness of self? Is it forgiveness of someone else in the situation? Are you hoping for forgiveness from them? It's something about your forgiveness, needing to be forgiven by yourself or someone else, needing to give forgiveness to yourself or someone else, Libras. And you know, that leads me to say that I feel like whomever or whatever you are holding on to because of an emotional attachment, even though your intuition is telling you to do the opposite, it may very well be because there is a matter of forgiveness that is unresolved between you and this other energy. Perhaps you've been needing to find forgiveness for them and or yourself, or vice versa, needing them to find grant you forgiveness for some time. And so it feels as though that situation, that energy, person, whatever it is, has an emotional hold on you, because your emotions are very well aware that you all aren't finished. There is some closure that needs to come, right? That sense of forgiveness, needing that forgiveness. Interesting. Yeah, needing that forgiveness or needing to grant that forgiveness, either way, can make you feel like something's not finished with me and this situation, this job, this person, etc., etc., this other energy. And so that emotional hold can be telling you this is the thing to hold on to, and you can feel it leaving, you can feel it releasing, you can feel it transforming. And if you can tune into your intuition, you will know the truth is that that's exactly what needs let go of. I think there's, I truly do, Libras. I think this is the forgiveness element of this. You feel like if you stop waiting, for something to work out, a job that you've invested a lot of time in, a career path that you've invested a lot of time in, a passion that you've invested a lot of time in, you feel like if you stop waiting for that passion to work out for you, then you will need forgiveness. Or perhaps you're afraid, then I won't be able to forgive myself if I just give up waiting on this to come to fruition now. Whether it's a relationship or anything else in your life, Libras. It's about finding forgiveness, I think, for yourself, for not waiting any longer. It doesn't mean that you're giving up on someone or something. The waiting period was for you while you were in it. And now, ceasing waiting is your next move now that we're where we are. And that's what we're looking at. Or perhaps flip it around. Perhaps for some of you, someone else stopped waiting on you, Libras, and that's why you were waiting on things to work out with you. Again, employer, relationship, in any case, something that was related to something you were very passionate about. Others of you, this can be about trying to resurrect something, an old relationship, an old job, or an old project. And that's why you have to release whatever else is on your plate that doesn't allow you enough time for all of the things that you're trying to do this month, at the end of this month specifically, Libras. So again, I do hope that that message was helpful. I hope that the needed insight was able to reach you there, Libras. And I will leave that situation in your capable hands from there moving forward. And we will move on to your love reading at about 25 minutes and 30 seconds in. Much longer than I meant it to be. Isn't it always? It looks like some Libras are receiving a love offer, actually, or making one right around the end of July 2019. But we have some restriction here, some limiting self-belief showing up for you as well, Libras. I'm going to use the Deviant Moon Tarot to do your love reading now. And this was the Radiant Rider-Waite, of course, that we used for your general. If you're interested in any of the decks that I use in your reading or any Lunatics Tarot readings, Libras, just scroll down to the description box. You can find information on all of the decks I use there, as well as a playlist to all of the copyright-free music that you hear, if you can hear it. I know it's a little low right now. Okay, Libras. Let's check that time again. Yeah, 25:40. Libras' love lives at the end of July 2019, influenced by the eclipse energy of July 2019, and specifically now the partial lunar eclipse in Capricorn energy that we are coming up on quickly. What do we see for Libras? Libras' love lives. Okay, Libras. Interesting. Okay. Five of Swords, King of Swords, Eight of Swords again, Page of Cups again. Four of Fire, again from the first reading. Ten of Pentacles in the near future, lovely. And ultimately a feeling of disillusionment. So and we have the Empress on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so Libras, especially those who identify as with masculine energy at this time, I see you possibly moving into a very secure, rich relationship, and I mean that in lots of ways, with someone who could be a divine feminine counterpart. While others of you, more of you in fact, are probably moving away from a divine feminine counterpart that you don't have an equal give and take with currently. Now, you probably do have very fond memories of this person, but currently it is just not the right time for the two of you. You can't seem to find a healthy balance. We've got 666 showing up on the table. You can't seem to find a healthy balance, and that may be the person that you're having trouble forgiving from the first reading. And yeah, I think for more of you, you need to move away from that energy, in fact, because you are not getting what you are giving. You are not getting what you are giving. And whether you identify yourself as a divine feminine or a divine masculine, you're able to truly embody a divine feminine energy, or to truly find a divine feminine energy once you move away from this hectic, chaotic, fight. I mean, your love life presently is a mental and or verbal battle for you, Libras. Yeah, a battle, a fight, probably verbal fights happening at this time. And it is Cancer season. Everybody's hot. I'm sweating as I'm trying to record this. Tempers are flaring, right? But the two of you, it looks like, had made a commitment, had a stable, happy, comfortable home and or family life together here, Libras. And I said, when the Page of Cups came up out of the Radiant Rider-Waite deck, I said it looks like you're making an offer or receiving an offer. Maybe they are making a somewhat immature offer to try to keep you, Libras, but more so now looking back, I see that what came out was an indication that originally this was a dreamy offer from them, from you, between the two of you. There was a dreamy offer coming through. But it turned into that Eight of Swords that then popped out of the deck next. These limiting self-beliefs and the restrictions that become very real in our lives just because of those beliefs in our mind. It's a victim mentality. When your ego is quiet, you've got the Eight of Swords in your crowning thoughts, in your higher mind, Libras. So you know that there is a victim mentality on the table in the situation with you. Is that you? Is that them? I think some of you Libras are kicking yourself a little because this offer was dreamy, as I said, to begin with, showing up as the Page of Cups being what is representing that offer. I think some of you are kicking yourselves because when it came around, you thought this sounds or seems just too good to be true, and it turns out that it certainly was, right? And so some of you are having a hard time. That, again, could be what you're having trouble forgiving yourself about. I know you can't really see these cards. I'm sorry about that, Libras. I'm trying to remember to show them all to you. But you have your own energy, the King of Swords, crossing these fights. So there are mental battles happening. There are mental battles and likely verbal battles happening present, Libras. There is Pisces energy on the table. Some of you are dealing with a Pisces in particular. We've got the Moon, the Hangman, and the Page of Cups, all three. Definitely some of you are dealing with some Piscean energy, either your own placements or the other person potentially involved here. And I don't mean anyone. If you're not dealing with anyone, then you're probably dealing with memories of someone from your past. I'm sorry, I'm using a new phone to record and it's giving me messages I don't like. Excuse my distraction. But covering these mental battles are covering you, but what is covering them is your energy, your authentic, cerebral, intelligent energy, Libras. Knowing who you are, feeling like yourself, knowing how to handle these mental battles, this mental stress, possibly even verbal battles if you're dealing with someone else, right? Knowing how to overcome that energy, knowing how to step outside of those fights and say, I'm not engaging in this anymore, if it's petty, if it's unproductive, if it's just spending and using and wasting your energy. I was trying to get our music back for us as well. I think some of you are releasing a Scorpio, and we had the Scorpio energy showing up in your general as well, right? I think some of you are releasing a Scorpio. I think others of you are just having trouble releasing whomever it is that needs to be released from this situation. Because as I said, in the recent past, I see that you had a secure, happy, comfortable home and or family life even together. And you're waiting. And you're waiting with the Hangman showing up here. You're waiting. You see security and stability and emotional fulfillment as a potential and a possibility with this person, but something needs released. If not the entire other energy to begin with, something needs released that is blocking you from getting to that emotional fulfillment, to that security. I see 2 10s showing up, the closing of a cycle. I see your 4th 6 showing up, talking about the need to find balance. And you may need to learn new things about being in a relationship, being a partner, or taking care of yourself prior to finding one in order to get there, Libras. Like I said, you are feeling very much like yourself, and that might be because as you engage with mental battles and even verbal battles with someone else possibly, it seems like a task that's very much in your wheelhouse. You're good with your thoughts, you're good with your words. You can be very cutting normally and cut someone, or the King of Swords energy that is akin to Libran energy can be very good at cutting out whomever in their life is not healthy for them. But at this time, I definitely see that a lot of you are willing to wait and see if things can work out. Not wanting to release, not wanting to let something die, and wanting to hang on and make a sacrifice of yourself. Be willing to engage in these battles, be willing to use your energy in that way, be willing to put up with their victim mentality for a minute, because you see the two of you getting somewhere better. You see the security, the emotional fulfillment. Now, for others of you, like I said, it can be you. It might be you who has the victim mentality, but I do think that in most cases, I really do feel like, Libras, in this case, most of you are dealing with that from someone else. And at least your higher self, when your ego is quiet, knows that they are playing a victim in order to win an argument, get your sympathy, get what they want from you in the situation. And that is not a sin that can't be forgiven, right? We can slip and make those types of mistakes, and especially if it's someone that you had a comfortable, happy home life with, or that you think you possibly could. You know, I can see you talking that out, moving through that. That can be a conversation, that can be a bad habit that gets dropped, and that can be what needs to be released. Even if it's yours, Libras. I'm reading this like it's the other person's. That's what it feels like and looks like above all else, but I still also definitely feel that for some of you, as always, it will be flipped around, and it will be you who is allowing yourself to feel like a victim of your circumstance, of the situation, of what this other person is saying to you or doing to you. You're accepting that behavior, or we wouldn't be talking about this, right? You wouldn't be here listening to it. It wouldn't be on the table. So you have to be accepting it to a certain extent. And I will say that I do see in the near future these riches, this wealth, this security, this earning resources as a result of learning skills and utilizing those skills. A home that is made up of individuals who can support it because of the skills that they've learned and what they can earn, and the income, the resources that are available to them. Not sure where our music went. I suppose we don't really need it. I'm going to wrap this up, Libras, but this is about you building, using your mental energies as intelligent as you are, using your mental energies to find fertile ground for yourself, to find the people, the places, the energies, and to only allow the people, places, and energies that are fertile ground for you to stay in your life right now. All else needs to be released. And again, if there's someone who is playing a victim, whether it's you or someone that you're already entangled with and dealing with, that's not something that can't be forgiven to me, right? And that's for you to decide, of course. But it doesn't read or feel like something that is, you know, a pattern that just won't quit. It does feel like an issue that you could overcome. But this secure environment here in the near future, Libras, belongs to you. This wealth, this very, very secure home, and the knowledge that you can continue to secure that home and any family that fills it as you move into the future, right? That belongs to you, whether it is presenting itself while you have a partner or not. So moving forward, again, you only want energies in that home and affecting that home, of course, we all do, that allows it to continue and you to continue to be fertile, to continue to grow, to continue to develop. The Ten of Pentacles is not your plateau. It's an amazing, rich, wealthy place. Your home is secure, and I'm so happy for you. That's an amazing place, but it's not your plateau. You will continue to grow and develop if the ground is fertile, if the relationships, the energies are fertile, making you feel like you can nurture yourself and nurture whomever is in that home, nurture whatever work and activities, allow those resources to continue to flow in, those skills of yours to continue to be utilized, right? So it's going to be different for everyone. It's a matter of forgiveness, again, like the first reading, because precisely in this case, because it is up to you whether or not that victim mentality is something that is going to repeat or going to be forgiven. Ultimately, you are going to be disillusioned by the outcome of this situation with the Moon card in reverse here, Libras. And so I feel like for most of you, you actually are going to find that the victim mentality has to be released, okay? So if this other person, if there's another party you're dealing with who's bringing the victim mentality to the table, the woe is me attitude, but I'm down because life is doing this to me and you're doing this to me, and why are you treating me this way, instead of taking responsibility for why am I in this situation, whether that's you or them, ultimately you're going to be disillusioned about that. If it's you, you're going to realize. If it's them and they won't ever quit that, you're going to realize they have to be let go of. Right? And I hope for so many of you that the case is that whomever it belongs to, it's the victim mentality itself that can be released, right? That would be ideal here, but it's just not the way it will fall out. For some of you, you'll find that you are dealing with someone else who can't let that go right now. They're going to be stuck in that pattern for some time. They have different lessons to learn. Other people, other places will show them that, and you can't allow that to invade what otherwise is fertile ground for you in your life. You can't allow that to mess up this very supreme, divine, amazing success and security. And I feel like that'll be happening moving into August for a lot of you. For some of you, it will take longer, of course. But that's what we see coming through in regards to your love life, Libras. Again, this fight could be just that, just a fight, just an issue. We all have them. The questions are, how many times have you had the same fight with the same person? How many times have you had these same mental battles with yourself if you're not dealing with someone else? How many times has the pattern repeated, and what are the indicators that it's just going to continue to repeat unless you take drastic action to significantly release something or someone that's causing it, right? So good luck, Libras. Good luck. Enjoy the energy of the eclipses in July 2019, of especially now the lunar eclipse that we are right before. And I hope that you will make wise choices for yourselves moving forward. Hope you won't feel boxed in or determined by anything we put on the table today. If you need a private reading, Libras, please just scroll down to the description box below. All of your options and prices and links can be found there, as well as my email address, which is lunartixtarot@gmail.com. I'm happy to work with you that way. If you'd rather send an email than follow a link, that works for me. Thank you so much to all of you who support Lunartix Tarot in any way. I truly appreciate it. The likes, the comments, the subscribes, the emails, the messages, the comments. I said comments twice, didn't I? The orders, the donations. Thank you, thank you. There's a link for donating down below as well. Thank you so much for all of that. You truly keep Lunartix Tarot going. And I love you, Libras, and I will post another reading for you just as soon as I can.